Not a lot of rock and roll news this morning, but we're going to jump into it. Well, a selection of special coins honoring Beatles Paul McCartney brought in over $750K at a recent auction. The rare currency auction house Stax Bowers Galleries, well, they handled the auction, which consisted of 1 gold and 4 silver pieces, each weighing in about 5 kilograms, with all 4 bringing in a total of $753,600. Now, the gold one, which took 250 hours to make, including 3 days of polishing, was signed by Paul during his 2024 Got Back tour in Paris. It sold for $600,000, making it one of the most valuable modern British coins ever sold. And the 4 silver coins, which have hand enameling, it's the design of Paul's psychedelic magic piano. And they sold for $38,400 each, way above their $5,400 value, I would say. And Foreigner is headed up north this fall for a Canadian tour that's going to be featuring the band, but it's fronted by somebody other than Lou or Kelly. In this case, it's Gordie Brown, who's quite familiar with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame band's music. Brown starred as the male lead in the workshop production of the Foreigner musical Jukebox Hero. Mick Jones says, I was most impressed by Geordie's performance of Jukebox Hero, the musical, in Canada. He's not only a consummate vocalist, but a verified Broadway actor to boot. And we look forward to welcoming him at our shows on Foreigner's 2025 Canadian tour. The tour will actually serve as a lead-up to the launch of Jukebox Hero, the musical, which is scheduled to go into production next year. And you can find a complete list of dates at foreigneronline.com. In rock and roll history for this day in 1969, John Lennon and Yoko Ono started their week-long bed-in the presidential suite at the Amsterdam Hilton Hotel. The couple invited the world's press into their hotel every day, and they talked about promoting world peace. I vaguely remember those days. I was young, but I can remember the images of them being in their bed and the press being in that room. In 1968, on this day, the Monkees, after 58 episodes, their final TV show aired on NBC in the United States. And since its initial run, almost every major cable network has aired reruns of the show, including a popular stint on CBS from 1969 to 72. In 1967, on this day, the Turtles start a 3-week run at number 1 on the U.S. singles chart with their smash, Happy Together. Song written by Gary Bonner and Alan Gordon, former members of a band known as the Magicians. The song had been rejected a dozen times. Can you believe that? Before it was finally offered to the Turtles, and they did their magic and made a huge hit out of it. And in 1966, on this day, at a photo session at Bob Whittaker's studio in London, the Beatles made history. They posed in white coats, and they used sides of meat with mutilated and butchered dolls for the cover of their next American album, Yesterday and Today. What were they thinking? In those days? Really? After advance copies were sent to disc jockeys and record reviewers, negative reaction to the cover photo was so strong, Capitol had no choice. They recalled 750 copies of the album from all the distributors, and then they replaced the cover, and the total cost for this makeover was $250,000. And it pretty much wiped out their initial profit. The album known as The Butcher Cover, I'll never forget the day I was in the dollar bin at a local record store, and I found a copy of Yesterday and Today with them sitting on the suitcase. And it was not in great shape, and I'm like, well, yeah, I'll buy it. It's $1. You know, it's the Beatles. Somebody will want it. So I bought it, brought it home, and sat it in the other room for a couple months before I finally got to that stack of records and was looking through it. And don't you know what it was? Yeah, the Butcher Cover. They say if you find one, don't peel it because it's more valuable if it's not peeled. But you know what? I've been waiting my whole life for a copy of the Butcher's Cover, and I went ahead and peeled it. And I did a pretty good job. So I've got a copy of it, and I will cherish that thing forever. That is your rock news update here on ClassX Radio. You can catch these updates on TikTok, YouTube, the ClassX Radio Facebook page, as well as X, Gab, and Truth Social. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow, and discover classic rock deep tracks, B-sides. You can do it right now at ClassXRadio.com. You can listen to us live through TuneIn and our mobile app on your app store. Just do a quick search of ClassX Radio. You'll find it. Download it, install, and enjoy rock radio for Gen Xers and baby boomers. ClassX Radio. And we'll see you next time.